Hey there, my name is Megan and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today I'm going to be discussing my top 10 anticipated fantasy book releases for 2025. I'm going to be discussing these books in month release date order, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. The first book is Nightfall by Ed Crocker. This is the first book in a new trilogy called the Everlands Trilogy. In this world, humans don't exist, but vampires do, and they have long since dominated this world until one day a new species appears known as the Greys. The Greys came out of nowhere, wiping away half of the vampire population in a single night. The vampires fled to the last remaining vampire city called First Light, and there is a social hierarchy in the city. If you are poor, you drink weak blood. If you are wealthy, you drink the good blood, and no one is ever allowed to leave First Light. We are following a palace maid named Sam, and she is at the bottom rung of the social hierarchy. One day, the son of the city's ruler is murdered, and Sam comes across the only clue that can help determine the murderer. Sam pounces on the opportunity to blackmail those who can help her to rise in the ranks of society. Soon, Sam finds herself involved in a rebel group of maids known as the Leeches, and they are reigning in the city's lords to try and overthrow this oppressive system. In addition to the rebels, Sam finds herself in league with a wizard whose magic may or may not be good, as well as a werewolf. And then Sam realizes that there is a conspiracy going on in the city that has to do with the city's elite, and having this knowledge might make her a target. And Sam must find the truth before she becomes another murder victim herself. Release date for Nightfall is January 14th. Next, we have The Outcast Mage by Annabel Campbell. This is the first book in a new series called The Shattered Lands. In the glass city of Amoria, magic is everything. We are following a character named Nyla, and she is a student at the Legendary Academy. Unfortunately, time is running out for her to prove that she can control the magic that she possesses. If she is unable to control it, she will be exiled from the academy, or if she doesn't learn to control her power, it will consume her. When a tragic event further threatens her place at the academy, Nalia finds herself saved by a very powerful sorcerer named as Hylas Akana. Hylas decides to take Nalia under his wing and teach her how to control her powers, but what Nalia soon learns is that Hylas has a lot of enemies, and they would love nothing more than to see his protege fail. Trapped in the deadly schemes of Amoria's elite, Nalia must dig deeper to discover the truth of her powers or watch as her beloved city descends into civil war. Expected publication date for The Outcast Mage is January 28th. Next, we have The Crimson Road by A.G. Slatter. In this book, we're following a main character named Violet, and Violet had an unusual upbringing. She was trained in fighting arenas, and her father would pit the most brutal people against her so that she would learn to fight and learn to kill. When Violet's father dies unexpectedly, she thinks that she is a free woman who has inherited all of his prestige and wealth. But then Violet learns a secret. Her father was planning on sending her into the Darklands. A being known as the Leech Lord reigns over the Darklands. One day, Violet is visited by a solicitor and the city bishop, and they tell her that she has to go into the Darklands to complete a mission for them, and it kind of hinges on an agreement that her father had made with them. Violet refuses, but that night two assassins come to kill her, and she realizes that if she wants to be free from this burden, she will have to fulfill her father's legacy. Along the way, Violet comes into contact with a couple of different people that offer to join her on her journey, and they all have talents of their own. We have a silver maker, a briar witch, and an outlaw. Ultimately, Violet must enter the Darklands alone to do what has to be done and free herself from this burden. Release date for The Crimson Road is February 11th. The next book is Grave Empire by Richard Swan. This is a spinoff for his Empire of the Wolf trilogy. In this world, the age of innovation and exploration has descended, and the Empire of the Wolf wants to take its place as a foremost power in this world. But dark days are coming. In the north, a plague has broken out in the pagan kingdoms. In the south, the Empire's proxy lands in the hands of the Wolfmen is on the brink of total collapse. Worse is a message brought to the Empress by two monks who say that they no longer have contact with the afterlife. The responsibility to figure out what's going on falls onto the shoulders of an ambassador, a low-ranking ambassador known as Renata Rayner. She is tasked with seeking out the answers to this prophecy by questioning those who still practice the arcane arts. But with the entire empire descending into chaos with war and plagues, Renata really has a tough road ahead of her, and she has to decide if this mission is even worth it because there might not be a world to even save. Grave Empire's release date is February 4th. Next, we have House of Blight by Maxim in Martineau. In this book, we're following a main character known Adira. She is a thread mender, and this is a magical ability that allows her to heal anybody. And she has always kept her magical ability hidden. One day, it is discovered by this very powerful family known as the Ferngloves. The Ferngloves are incredibly powerful, influential, and they also don't take no for an answer. One day, Adira's brothers get violently ill to the point where even she cannot heal them. Orin, the head of the ruling elites, offers to help Adira come up with a way to combat this illness that is now spreading throughout their town and killing a lot of people. At his estate, Adira will learn to hone her magic skills more so that she might be able to cure people of this new virus, while Orin will help develop a cure. The two of them, while working together, also start to develop an attraction. Unfortunately, the Ferngloves are incredibly covetous and suspicious of Adira's powers, and they may or may not be more dangerous than the ever-present disease that is decimating this land. Expected release date for House of Blight is April 8th. Next, we have The Wind Weaver by Julie Johnson. In this book, we are following a world known as Alwyn, and it is currently war-torn, and the people of this world fear magic and magical beings. We are following a character named Raya Fleetwood, and she is a halfling, and halflings are killed on sight. One day, Raya is captured and scheduled to be executed, and she is saved by a commander of the enemy. He is a mercenary named Scythe. Raya finds herself taken captive by the enemy and taken north. Yet the further north she goes, she realizes that things are not as they seem. Not her captor, the commander Scythe, not the war, and not even the deadly blight that is ravaging this land. Raya learns that she is no ordinary halfling. She is actually a remnant, and she is one of 4 magical beings called Forth to restore magic to this world. Raya must learn to master this new power simmering inside of her, while at the same time combating feelings for Commander Scythe, whom she doesn't even know if she can trust. Release date for The Wind Weaver is April 8th. Next, we have Notorious Virtues by Alwyn Hamilton. This is the first book in a new series called Notorious Virtues. In this book, we're following a main character named Nora Hotsfall, and she is the daughter of the most powerful, influential family in this world. Her family controls all the money and all the magic. But despite being center of attention, because she is the daughter of such a prestigious family, Nora has always felt like an outsider. When Nora's mom is found dead in an alley, her family's throne actually comes up for grabs. Nora will be entered into this magical competition and pitted against her own family members, mainly cousins. But there's a surprise contestant this year. There is a cousin of Nora's who is illegitimate, the daughter of her aunt that no one knew about, that enters this competition and is in the running for controlling her family's throne. Soon Nora uncovers that her mother's death was actually a murder, and the only person that she can trust is a rakish young reporter. Nora also befriends her illegitimate cousin named Lottie, and Lottie is searching for the identity of her father. As the competition ensues, the two women have to work together to not only stay alive, but also uncover all of these secrets and answers to these mysteries to ensure that the right person remains on the throne. Notorious Virtues release date is April 1st. Next, we have The Devils by Joe Abercrombie, which is the first book in a new series by him called The Devils. We are following a new character named Brother Diaz, and he has been summoned back to the Sacred City, and he returns thinking that he's going to be tasked with this pious assignment. But the new flock of people that are going on assignment with him are not the best people. They are made up of murderers, practitioners of dark magic, as well as outright monsters, and this group is tasked with achieving a mission that will require violence and sacrifice. The synopsis doesn't exactly say what the task Brother Diaz was given. All it says is that he and his group of evil misfits must enter on a journey. They will be confronted with elves that eat flesh, as well as greedy princes who are definitely not on their side. Expected release date for The Devils is May 6th. Next, we have The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This is the first book in a new series. The series is called The Stone Water Kingdom. In this book, we are following a girl named Sybil. Sybil is a diviner, and she is able to tell the future from dreams, and the information in her dreams is given to her by these otherworldly beings known as omens. Sybil was only contracted to be a diviner for a certain amount of time, and right at the end of her contract service, a knight arrives at the cathedral where she resides. This knight is rude, heretical, and has no respect for Sybil's abilities, but she is oddly attracted to him. When Sybil's diviner sisters start to vanish one by one, Sybil actually seeks out the help from this rakish knight. The world outside the cathedral, where Sybil has lived for many years, is wrought with violence and peril, and she needs the knight's help to help her navigate through this new world. Expected release date for The Night and the Moth is May 20th. Then we have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. The synopsis of this book is incredibly short. I have read almost all of V.E. Schwab's books, and I do enjoy her writing quite a bit, but all it says is that there are 3 timelines, one in the 1500s, one in the 1800s, and one in the 2000s, and it follows 3 women, and that's it. There must be some sort of magical connection between the 3 of them. It might have something to do with taking revenge on something. I have no idea. Definitely a very short synopsis, but I trust that V.E. Schwab is going to come out with a good story. And expected release date is June 10th. Okay, you guys, that is it for my most anticipated fantasy book releases for 2025. Let me know in the comments which books you are most excited for, or if there are some other new releases that I didn't mention on this list that you are super pumped for. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in another video soon. Goodbye.